You're doom scrolling on TikTok or watching Instagram reels and you start thinking, how come everyone is doing so incredibly well, except me?
Here's a look at a day in the life. 150,000 saved with 30 condos, an ETF portfolio, a side hustle, and everyone's drinking matcha lattes.
What about you? Nice. I'm working out whether I can afford a GA travel card or whether to just get a half-fare travel card and hope for the best.
And then, of course, you start overthinking. Am I actually way behind everyone else?
Hey, I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Dani. Today, we're filling you in on something that maybe no one ever explained properly. Which financial milestones really matter. We'll talk about comparisons, but not to stress you out.
Instead, we take the real figures relevant to our vast country, Switzerland, without any stress or pressure. And just to clear up one thing, finances aren't a competition.
Don't ask yourself, how much money do I have compared to other people? Instead, ask yourself, am I on a healthy financial path at my current stage in life, and my financial future?
To get started, let's do something a bit unusual. And in a really un-Swiss way, let's ask people on the street how much savings they have.
Today we're doing a reality check with Swiss people on the street. And who wouldn't want to talk about how much savings they have? How much money do you currently have saved up?
Nicht viel, es sind etwa 10.000.
Boah, etwa 2.000.
1.500?
Genaue Zahl möchte ich nicht nennen, aber genug, dass es für eine Zeit lang reichen würde, wenn mal was passieren würde.
Auf meinem Sparkonto etwa so 900 und so ein bisschen die Hause, so vielleicht etwa 300.
Gar nicht. Also im Sparkonto habe ich 800 und ich habe mir gerade letztens so ein Fondskonto eröffnet, dort habe ich 1000 reingesteckt.
Auf meinem Sparkonto habe ich etwa, sagen wir, um die 1,5 und ich bin eigentlich ganz zufrieden damit.
And with that, back to the studio.
So did any of the answers really surprise you?
No matter what the age range, there weren't lots of people who seemed to be more or less in the same financial situation, and I found that interesting.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why financial comparisons are tricky and can be very misleading.
You've all seen those articles by finance bloggers on shady internet sites or social media posts with motivational quotes and cool catchphrases claiming that by age 25, you need a certain amount of money in the bank. By the time you're 30, you should have invested X amount in shares. If you haven't saved a certain amount by age 35, you need to take action now. All of these comparisons have one fundamental problem.
In math classes at school, we learned that numbers are objective. 2 + 2 = 4 is a fact, not a feeling. So it must be the same for money, right? Not quite. With money, context is key. But don't worry, we're not going to veer off into a math class now. Speaking of digressing, have you already liked the video and subscribed to our channel? We'd appreciate it.
What does context mean when it comes to money? Let's be a bit more specific. The first obvious variable is income. Income is really important because it's a powerful multiplier.
Let's say 2 people have exactly the same cost of living. They both live quite modestly and are careful with their money. Even so, I don't need to tell you that life in Switzerland is really expensive. Let's say both people need around 5,000 francs a month to cover all their expenses. Person A earns 6,000 francs and person B 10,000. That gives a monthly savings amount of 1,000 and 5,000 francs respectively. That's 5 times as much.
If you extrapolate that across the whole year, the first person ends up with 12,000 francs in savings, and the person with the higher income has 60,000 francs. That's a huge difference. Even if the person with the higher income spends an additional 1,000 francs a month, they will still have over 36,000 francs more at the end of the year. Of course, there are taxes to consider, but at the end of the day, a higher income is a powerful multiplier because even consistent high savings won't close the gap.
Okay, but you can do something about your income. Through training courses, hard work, and dedication, you can climb the career ladder, right?
Yes, but even then there are still 2 factors that aren't as easy to influence, and we don't want to ignore them.
They are your initial situation and your family circumstances. Nobody can control whether or not they grow up in a wealthy environment. Whether they receive financial support for their first home, their first car, or a trip abroad when they finish school. Or on the other hand, if they have none of that and have to watch every penny. And then there's one last point. Your initial situation for work, studies, time abroad, military service, and so on. Someone who attends high school followed immediately by military service, perhaps even a full term of active duty. then spends time abroad before university, enters the workforce much later than someone who opts for vocational training, starts gaining work experience right away, then does on-the-job training.
Of course, financial differences in income can often even out over time, but it's still essential to take them into account.
Exactly. Snapshots of savings and assets simply don't make sense without context. And there's also your choice of career. Some sectors, industries, and companies simply don't pay as well as other professions. That has nothing to do with the workload or the level of training. If you work as a consultant in a large company, you often earn more than someone with similar experience and qualifications doing the same job in an SME.
See how many different variables influence your financial situation? That's why comparisons make so little sense. After all, no two situations are similar enough to be able to draw any meaningful conclusions. So take a deep breath next time you feel the urge to compare yourself to others. What else should we talk about? Let's clarify two terms in relation to money and comparisons that keep coming up: average and median.
In many cases, financial comparisons are like comparing apples and pears. A classic mistake is to compare salary with average income. We'll use an example to show you why that isn't such a good idea and why the median is often the better option. So let's take a fresh look at these two terms. Assume there are 10 people, 9 earning 10,000 francs and 1 earning 100,000.
The average is 19,000 francs. I worked that out quickly in my head, no problem. You simply add all the amounts together and then divide them by the number of people. And there you have it, the average.
Doesn't present an accurate picture though, does it?
Yes, the median does seem a bit more realistic. This time the figures are arranged in order, from the lowest to the highest. And then you choose the amount right in the middle. This means that 50% of people earn more than that amount, and 50% of people earn less than that amount.
And in our example, that would mean median B is, correct, 10,000 francs. And that's why the median income is often much more meaningful than the average income.
So don't let extreme examples throw you off. And that works both ways.
Clear financial milestones are far more important than unrelated numbers.
It's not so much about how much you currently have saved up, but about what you've built up to date step by step.
We've broken it down into categories, and we'll start with the category that most of you are already familiar with or may even have moved beyond. Here are the milestones for your 20s.
Oh, to be 20 again.
You're only 26 now.
Thanks for the reminder, Vanessa. Yes, you're right. But back to the topic. What milestones would we recommend? The first milestone you should think about is an emergency fund.
And as this emergency fund depends on the context and should be tailored to your circumstances, the general rule is to have at least 3 months' salary in reserve. This is money that you don't invest or use for anything else, but simply leave in your account.
And that doesn't happen overnight. That's why it's important to keep working on it. This money isn't for financing status symbols or vacations. It's a rainy day fund for unexpected events.
If your laptop breaks, the food processor suddenly stops working, or your car starts acting up. And just like that, you're suddenly paying out an arm and a leg.
Another key step in your 20s is staying organized. You don't have to be a whiz with Excel just yet. If you already are one, that's great. But it helps to have a clear overview of your budget. How much you receive, how much you spend, what's left over.
If that doesn't sound familiar, you might find our budget video useful. It's linked in the info card and can be found on our playlist.
The next step, have you started making regular payments towards your pension? It's a good idea because not only are they tax deductible, but you can invest these pension savings over the long term and let them work for you.
One thing about Pillar 3A that many people forget is that it's an integral part of your pension planning. So it's often overlooked when it comes to your assets. So fewer assets don't necessarily mean that you've failed to plan for the future. If you start with only small amounts, your future self will still thank you for it.
And one final step you can take in your 20s is to make your first investment. It may only be a mini savings plan with 50 francs in ETFs or investment funds, but you can build your assets and multiply them without too much extra effort. Our free tip? Invest and pay into your 3A account automatically, in other words, by setting up a standing order. This way, you won't need to worry about staying the course. Each transfer will happen all by itself.
By the way, speaking of investing, we have other videos on our YouTube playlist. Take a look if you're lost when it comes to terms like ETFs and investment funds.
Those were all small steps you can take. The sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow. But don't stress. These are just guidelines. Take the milestones at your own pace. Think of it as a mini-game. Level by level, you're trying to unlock it.
No matter what stage you're at, just watching the video means you're already much further along than you think.
Later, the milestones may shift. That's normal. After all, your circumstances will also change. People generally tend to earn more after further training, or their household income will be higher if they move in with a partner.
They might have kids, meaning a completely new situation when it comes to costs and financial security. Change in life is a constant, so there are different milestones in your 30s.
Let's start with a topic we're already familiar with. Pillar 3A. Now you're earning more and have been making regular contributions. There are two things to keep in mind. Take advantage of the tax breaks available and work your way up to the maximum amount you can pay in. Most banks will be happy to tell you the limit for the current year. You can then deduct the full amount from your taxable income.
And if you've done a really great job paying in contributions and already have around 50,000 francs in your 3A account, then it's worth opening a second account. Why? We could actually explain that in a separate 3A video, right?
True. If you'd like a video about Pillar 3A, let us know in the comments. Just comment 3A video. That would be great.
The second milestone for your 30s you can try and reach in a more deliberate way is to build your long-term wealth by making targeted investments. The longer your investment horizon, that's how long you invest for, the more you'll benefit from the power of compound interest.
Important. Don't touch your emergency fund. That money isn't invested, it just stays right where it is, just to be crystal clear. We also have more videos about investing on our playlist. Be sure to check it out. Finally, there's just one thing left to say. Don't stress too much. Start with the milestone you feel most confident about. Take it one step at a time. You don't have to do everything at once. You need and want to have a bit of fun in life, don't you? So you don't have to go without things all the time.
If your approach is too radical, you'll quickly lose motivation. You can and should reward yourself for all your hard work every now and then.
Recap. Wealth often depends on your initial situation. Figures always need context, so don't let the total figure put you off. Good pension planning can be just as important as building up assets. Starting to invest early is more important than the actual amount. Time will take care of the rest. Tackle one milestone at a time, rather than all of them at once.
Comparisons can be motivating, but they should never hold you back. You don't have to achieve a goal just because someone posted about it. Your life, your pace, your finances.
Keep subscribing
Share the video.
and stay on your path.